Hello everybody and welcome to Spectria Tarot. My name is Morgan. I hope you are doing well. I don't really know what's going to come through today. I know that the energy has been chaotic. We're still in eclipse season. There's been a lot of ups and downs, back and forth. Old energies rising to the surface. There's been a lot of old wounds coming up. Things being illuminated through relationships, through conversations with others, or events unfolding with others. Let's see. It's kind of feeling like no matter... It's kind of feeling like anything that has been kind of brewing beneath your surface that hasn't been given a proper voice, a proper outlet, something that you've been carrying without maybe even realizing it, that kind of stuff is rising to the surface right now. So we're just going to see what the forces and the spirits want to share with you today. We have the Four of Cups and the Empress. Okay. So here's the Empress. Here is the Four of Cups. This is giving the feeling of either you're feeling very aligned with your authenticity, with your creativity, and you're trying to show the world this side of yourself, and you're feeling like you're not being seen. You're feeling left out. You're feeling like you're not being seen. You're feeling like people aren't appreciating your work or your art, or you may feel, or you could be working on a project and you may be holding yourself back out of fear, thinking that whatever you're working on, people aren't going to like. It could be something like that there's no audience for what you want to do. And on the other hand, this feels to me like you have very much been in your creatrix energy. You've been really working with the forces, working with yourself, working with the energy around you, and you've been doing your best to manifest different opportunities, situations, life circumstances for yourself. You're trying to change the flow of energy in your life, and it hasn't really manifested the way that you want it to yet. So you could be feeling like what you desire is not going to manifest, or you could be wondering if you need to change your path, change your course in some way. So we're going to pull some oracle cards, get a little more information here. Yeah, we have roadblock. Yeah, there is something blocking you. There is something that is keeping you from either manifesting these plans or moving forward with what you're working on. It says block change, barriers, challenges, time to regroup, stuck, paralyzed, obstacles, stalling, temporary setback, take a detour, not right now, one step forward, two steps back. Okay, so you could be stalling yourself. Especially if some fears are coming up. You may just feel like now is not the time. You may just feel like things are not aligning. This eclipse season could have brought about some events in your life that are keeping you from, being able to put the energy or the time or the effort into what you're building, what you're creating for yourself. Let's see. No. All right. We have convertible, many options, free will, adjacent possibilities, choices, flexible, adaptable, potential, change, freedom, enjoyment, two-faced, going with the wind, alternatives, and preferences. So this means that you have many different options. You have free will. So the forces present today are saying that you do have this power, right? So if you were feeling aligned with Empress, Creatrix, Creator energy to begin with, but then some kind of roadblock came, some kind of shift, some kind of block, Either you're feeling paralyzed, you're trying to regroup, you have to deal with some other challenge that's keeping you away from manifesting what you're trying to manifest or creating what you're trying to create. And like I said, this could be like an artistic project. It could be a book. It could be a social media page that you want to start. It could be a blog. It could be, actual art or music that you're working on. It could be any of that. Or it could be that you're just trying to redirect the flow of energy in your life. Perhaps you're trying to, manifest a new job, a new home, more money, a relationship, etc. And now it feels like your time and energy is going somewhere else. You've been stopped. Now, for some of you, there could really be a detour happening. Okay, you could be like this. For some of you, you're being asked not to see this delay or this roadblock as a solid no. It's not a solid no. It's just a reroute to get you even more in alignment with what you're truly desiring and asking for, or what fine-tuning your creations as well. For some of you, this is kind of a test coming through from the forces. We do get tested by the forces when we are asking for more. Whether we're asking for more magical power, whether we're asking for more occult wisdom, whether we're asking to grow a project, or, whatever it is, we get tested. There is almost always a moment of emptiness. This is something that I actually learned from Hecate. There is almost always a moment of emptiness when you are creating and asking for more, because first everything that is not serving you needs to be flushed out, and then we need to create that vessel that will be filled with the newness that you are calling in. And so the way that shows up for us in our physical world is usually very emotionally, or blocks, delays, stalls, or you could even be at a point where you're starting to see something coming together. Like maybe you are getting close to finishing your artistic project, or maybe your social media page is growing, or maybe, maybe you've found a house or a job or something that you want, that it looks like you're going to get it, You've met a new romantic partner and things seem to be going well, but you still are feeling a little apathetic or a little unsure, a little uncertain, kind of holding yourself back a little bit. Or you could be feeling old emotions coming up to the surface. You could be feeling some negativity, some self-doubt, some self-sabotage. You could be battling some of that right now, which is causing you to feel a bit stuck or paralyzed. But that is all part of the transmutation process. So that's kind of like what I was saying at the beginning of this reading before we even started pulling cards. There's stuff that's been buried beneath the surface that's coming up. And the reason that it's coming up is so it can be cleared, so that you have an empty vessel now to fill with the things that you've been asking for. Okay, so you shouldn't worry too much if you're feeling a little blocked, if you're feeling a little confused, if you're feeling empty, if you're feeling like you should be celebrating something that's coming together for you, but you're finding it hard to celebrate, and you're wondering like if that's a sign that this isn't really for you, or if, you shouldn't continue on this path. The forces are saying, of course, you do have free will. There's always many options available to you, but just because you're feeling this weird energy right now doesn't mean that you shouldn't keep going. It just means that you are releasing so you can welcome in new. It's a flow, okay? So let's see what else we can get for you. We have bloodletting. Yeah, this is a card about releasing so you can welcome in the new. This is exactly what this is about. It's about being raw. It's about releasing pain and negative energies that you've held on to for a long time. And it is like a painful process, but it's similar to, the Empress is the mother. She gives birth to creations. So you're feeling some labor pains is what you're feeling. You're feeling some labor pains, okay? Let's see. But this is like a sacred ritual that's happening for you. Even though it's not like, you may not be practicing magic, you may not be performing rituals, but you are still the magician in your life, and you are still crafting through your energy, through your will. And with that happening, you know, it's still you manipulating and changing energies. And so it's just part of the transmutation process. One thing has to go for the next thing to come in. And then we have the serpent here. So the serpent is like a trickster energy that makes you doubt yourself, that kind of draws out your own inner blocks, your self-sabotaging tendencies, or the lies that you either have told yourself that you believe about yourself, or the lies that others have kind of conditioned you with about yourself, or about what you're creating, what you're building, what you're desiring, etc. So right now, this emptiness that you're feeling, it plays into that, because you are releasing these lies, you are releasing the deceit, you are releasing the voice inside that tells you you can't be successful, you can't create the way that you want to, that you can't have it all. You know, any negative mindset that you've carried with you that has blocked you in the past is coming up so that you can clear it, and you're shedding your skin like the snake to move into greater alignment and a new life experience overall. So let's finish up with some tarot again. What is next, Spirit? What is next? Next, we have the Two of Wands reversed. So to me, this is going to be you choosing a path. The Two of Wands is a card that I always see as having those options. We've already been told earlier in this reading that you have options. And so this is looking to me like you are going to choose a path, stay dedicated to it, and you're going to be firm. You're going to be walking that path and not doubting, not rethinking, not questioning. Okay? And I feel like this is going to come closer to the next eclipse, you know, so August 28th or after. It could even be, oh yeah, Virgo season would be soon. So it might be during Virgo season, or between Virgo and Sagittarius season. You're really going to be proving to yourself that you can make up your mind and stick to a path and keep following it. But the energy is going to be a bit tumultuous until then, just as you clear out the energies that no longer serve you, but anchor in the new energies coming in that are aligned with what you're calling forth, that are aligned with what you're manifesting. Okay, so just be gentle with yourself in the process. Pay attention to the thoughts that are coming up. Pay attention to the conversations that are being had or things that you come across on social media, you know, and make time to connect with your own soul, connect with your guides, and reflect on what you truly want. And this is why I'm always, you know, talking about how important it is to know yourself. Because when you know yourself, you can hear a projected thought or a conditioned thought and say, well, that's not really who I am. This is what I believe. This is who I know myself to be. And then it becomes easier to kind of combat those negative thoughts that are keeping you blocked, okay? So just really focus on realigning and releasing. You're clearing out right now. You're making room so that you can hold more of what you desire. And if you feel blocked, it could be that you're being tested. You're being tested to see how well you can release that old energy and alchemize and welcome in new energy. So I hope that that resonated with you. If you would like to book your own personal reading or check out the other things on my website, the links are below. I'm sending you lots of love. You got this.